Hi, I'm Olivia, and today's Happy Nugget comes from Martel, the Canadian writer most famous for writing the best-selling novel Life of Pi. I remember reading Life of Pi as a challenge, thinking, I'm never going to believe that an Indian boy named Pi is stranded after a shipwreck on a lifeboat with a Bengal tiger named Richard Parker. Nobody can write that story. Not only did Jan Martel write that story, but I believed every word of it. It was so vivid and real, I wanted it to be true, which speaks to Martel's skill and imagination as a writer. His third novel, Beatrice and Virgil, is an allegorical tale about the Holocaust. It's a story of a writer who receives the manuscript of a play from an anonymous reader who happens to be a taxidermist. The play's protagonists are a stuffed donkey named Beatrice and a monkey named Virgil, who take on human qualities. I thought, there's no way I'm going to believe that a donkey and a monkey are real. I should have known better, because the story is simply beautiful. The friendship between Beatrice and Virgil is one of the most delightful and tender things I've ever read. From Beatrice and Virgil. Beatrice, and what does a pear taste like? Virgil, wait, you must smell it first. A ripe pear breathes a fragrance that is watery and subtle, its power lying in the lightness of its impression upon the olfactory sense. Can you imagine the smell of nutmeg or cinnamon? I can. The smell of a ripe pear has the same effect on the mind as these aromatic spices. The mind is arrested, spellbound, and 1,001 memories and associations are thrown up as the mind burrows deep to understand the allure of this beguiling smell, which it never comes to understand, by the way. But how does it taste? I can't wait any longer. A ripe pear overflows with sweet juiciness. Oh, that sounds good. Slice a pear and you will find that its flesh is incandescent white. It glows with inner light. Those who carry a knife and a pear are never afraid of the dark. I must have one. The texture of a pear, its consistency, is yet another difficult matter to put into words. Some pears are a little crunchy. Like an apple? No, not at all like an apple. An apple resists being eaten. An apple is not eaten. It is conquered. The crunchiness of a pear is far from appealing. It is giving and fragile. To eat a pear is akin to kissing. Oh my, it sounds so good. The flesh of a pear can be slightly gritty, and yet it melts in the mouth. Is such a thing possible? With every pear. And that is only the look, the feel, the smell, the texture. I have not even told you of the taste. Jan Martel was born in 1963 in Spain, but moved often as a child to places like Portugal, Alaska, and Canada. After his parents joined the Canadian Foreign Service, Martel lived in Costa Rica, Paris, Madrid, and Canada. He graduated with a degree in philosophy and worked odd jobs like parking lot attendant, dishwasher, and security guard while traveling extensively from South America to India. Martel received critical acclaim with his short stories in the early 90s, publishing his first novel, Self, in 1996. But it wasn't until his second novel, Life of Pi, was published in 2001 that Martel became a household name in the literary world. Life of Pi won the Man Booker Prize in 2002 and has sold over 12 million copies. Weaving through many of Martel's stories is his fascination with philosophical and spiritual themes, the big questions of life, faith, love, mortality, grief, illustrated through seemingly simple stories bursting with ideas and qualities that touch our hearts at the deepest levels. In Martel's novels, you're taken on a wild imaginative journey while learning a remarkable amount of information about different subjects. Through widening our capacity to imagine, we see the vast world outside of ourselves. And for a little while, hopefully longer, Martel gives us the gift of seeing the magic around us. In an interview speaking about the awareness of ideas, Martel says, I'm not one of those writers who's like a tourist, constantly clicking away with his camera. Writing is hard, especially when you're trying to pull off that difficult artifice called the novel. So I take the few ideas I have, the few ideas I think are worth my while to work on, and I spend a long time on them. In fact, I started work on my latest novel when I was 20 years old. My roommates at that time would remember that I had little index cards taped to the walls of my room, the skeleton of the story. But I didn't know how to pull the novel off then. I was too young as an artist, too young as a person. So I put it away, waiting, hoping that one day I would be able to see my way to writing it. Great ideas are like seeds, germinating over long periods of time. Sometimes the stuff of life, living, and survival get in the way. But if you have an idea in your mind and your heart, and you water it, feed it, shine a light on it, with patience and perseverance, it will eventually grow into a tree, bearing the sweetest fruits of your imagination. And that's today's Happy Nugget. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it, and subscribe. As always, I link below the video anything I recommend. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. See you next time.